Okay, so we have some people that managed to actually had a little play with BaseLinker, and we have some people that are completely new, which is absolutely fine. So what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna go about automatic actions in as much details as it's actually possible, starting from the scratch. So I think we're good to begin actually. So hello everyone. I'm really pleased that you all made it here, and then you're curious about BaseLinker and you would like to find new ways on how to automate your businesses. So that's really good. And then I hope you're excited about this because, well, BaseLinker can make your life so much easier. And this is what we're trying to achieve with today's sessions on automatic actions. Okay, so starting from the scratch. If you would like to move any of the orders between the statuses in BaseLinker within automatic actions, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to define these statuses and match them to your current workflow. So if you would like to do this, you will have to go to the order statuses, and create some of the statuses that will match your workflow. So it's not like BaseLinker is a tool that have some set statuses. They all examples. Whenever you log into your fresh account, you have some example statuses that can be used. But the most important thing is actually that you can create new ones and actually group them, which is going to make your life easier. So first of all, you would like to create some groups when it comes to the statuses, and then actually create new one and assign it to the group you've just created. So we can set a new status, give it a short name, like for example, just the first initials. And then you can also describe it, what it actually do. So you can basically set the name that can be sent to the customer, for example, on the order page. So whenever the new status comes in, you could do something like your order is being processed and then assign it to any of the group that you're actually going to create within the BaseLinker. Later on, this is going to be very important because these statuses are going to be used for automatic actions. So if you would like to adjust the whole workflow within the BaseLinker to your current one, this is something you will have to do. But once you've done it, you can actually adjust the automatic actions for your needs. So I'm gonna move to the automatic actions section right now and give you a little preview of what you can do in here. First of all, automatic actions are divided between two different areas of BaseLinker. The first one is the automatic actions for the orders, which is visible here. And the second one is dedicated to products. So if you're using BaseLinker inventory to manage all of your products, there are some cool actions that you can do within the automatic actions when it comes to the BaseLinker inventory. Today, we're going to speak about automatic actions for the orders. So first of all, we can talk about creating some shipping labels with automatic actions in BaseLinker. So there is few ways of approaching the creation of the shipping labels when it comes to the BaseLinker. And the first one I would like to go through is actually creating some personal events and configuring the automatic actions in order for them to work. So let's say you have some certain dimensions when it comes to the orders, when it comes to the packages that you use for your orders. It might not apply for every single business, but there is quite a lot of businesses that will use pretty much similar dimensions for the packages. Whenever it's like just one order, that will be one product in an order, that will be just small box, and the rest of them will go in just one size. So it happens sometimes. You can adjust it for your needs as well. So what you will have to actually do is creating a personal event. We have some personal events here, but just ignore them. We can talk about them in the future, because apart from creating the shipments, you can also create some personal events that can do some cool stuff for you, not only creating the shipping labels. So if you hit on a button personal event, you can, for example, create some Royal Mail parcel, for example, within that size. Okay, so you can do it only for the Royal Mail, and this is what we're gonna go with our first personal event. So you can change the icon when it comes to it. You can choose where the personal event is going to be displayed. So I would recommend to click all of them for now. And then we can choose the color that it's going to be assigned to our button. Later on, we click on a button save, and now we've created the button. Okay, so that's not enough when it comes to using personal events for creating the shipping labels. Now that we've got the button created, we want to go back to the automatic actions, and we would like to create a new automatic action. Okay, as soon as we do that, on the left hand side, we're going to choose what is going to trigger our action. So always on the left hand side, you would choose what's supposed to trigger the automatic action and what the result's supposed to be, and that's on the right hand side. So for example, now we've got our personal event section, which is right at the bottom of the list. So whenever you create a new button, it will be always on the bottom of the list. If you scroll down, you can see that there is a button that I've just created, the Royal Mail parcel, with certain dimensions. So I'm going to click on that, and now I can actually decide what that's supposed to do. Okay, so if I would like to create a package within the Royal Mail, I just need to find an option of orders, create a package. And now I can choose what type of package that's supposed to be. So I actually want the package. I can choose between all the services that are available within that courier integration. So these settings may vary for every single courier integration, but the process looks exactly the same. So as soon as you're actually going to learn how to use the automatic actions, you'll be good to go and create as many automatic actions for different courier integrations as you want. So let's say my package could be 5 kilograms, and now I'm gonna use the length and the width and the height as I used the name of the button. Now whenever I click on the button save, what this action is actually going to do. So I've got my trigger on the left hand side, Royal Mail parcel button, and the action that's supposed to be performed whenever I'm gonna click on that button. So if I'll go to any of the orders that I have in here, the button will show up in here. So now if I click on it, it will actually create the package for me. So the automatic action has been launched, and you can see it at the bottom right corner. If I scroll down in here, you can see that the package with the dimensions that actually applied to the button has been created. And this is one of the ways when it comes to the automatic actions for creating the shipping labels. And the second one that we will go through is more automatic, I would say. So you will not have to click anything. It will depend on the SKUs or the EN codes. If you know what dimensions are supposed to be used when it comes to the size of the package to the certain products, you can automate the whole process. So for example, what I would like to do, I would like to define when that's supposed to happen. So for example, I'm gonna say that the status has been set, okay? Because we will go through it in the next part, but you can define when the status of an order is supposed to change. And then, for example, whenever the order has been paid for, you can change the status of an order for, let's say, ready for shipping, okay? Let's say that's going to be our status where the labels can be generated automatically, okay? And now what you would like to do is actually choose the products from the BaseLinker inventory, or any inventory. It just has to be defined when it comes to the SKU or the EN code, okay? So we're gonna scroll down to the bottom and we have range of different conditions that can be applied to the trigger of an action that will adjust the whole process to our needs. So, for example, if I'm gonna say that the product with the EM code, okay, and now I'm gonna go back to my products, and let's say I have that product with specified EM code, and if I'm going to use it as a condition for my automatic action, it can perform actions such as creating the package. Okay, so again, if I know my products well, and I know that this is going to be small product, it will be just one product in this order. Okay, because you're selling, like, for example, high value products, and usually people order just one or two of them, and this is really cool automatic action that can save you a lot of time, because if you define the dimensions of the packages that's supposed to be assigned to the products, this is something you can do within the automatic actions. So for example, if I'm going to set this status and the order is going to contain the product with this EM code, I'm telling BaseLinker to create the package for me, okay? And then it doesn't have to be big, but for example, something like this, and you hit on a button save, and I can also assign the automatic action to the group. Works pretty much the same way as the statuses, and I hit on the button save. So what's supposed to happen now, if I move this order to the status ready for shipping, it will create the package for me, okay? So this is something I'm going to do. And then again, you can see that the automatic action is being performed at the bottom, okay? So now we see that our product with this EN code has the package created because we moved it to the other status. And then remember, this is something I've done manually at the moment because I'm just trying to explain how the automatic actions work like, but you can automate the whole workflow. It's not that you have to move the statuses from one, the orders from the statuses from one to another one. What you have to do, you have to plan your workflow, okay? So now we're going to move to the second stage, so changing order statuses, because this is something you can automate. You know how to create the shipping labels within the automatic actions. Let's talk about how the order is supposed to be moved with the automatic actions, so you don't have to perform everything manually, because it wouldn't be a match of automation if you will have to click 1,000 of different buttons to actually perform it. So let's see what different, just seeing the question, we will go to the Q&A section right at the end, so I'm gonna come back to your questions, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk through what we want to cover today, and then I'll actually answer all the questions that you've got. So yeah, order fetched. Okay, when it comes to the orders, you can decide what's supposed to happen whenever the order is actually being fetched from different sources of sales. Okay, so we've got the first one, order fetched, then we've got the order has been paid for, the delivery option from has been downloaded, so that comes that counts for Allegro and eBay, and the order has been confirmed. The order has been confirmed. This is something that pretty much happen automatically. It might vary if you create the new order within the BaseLinker. Otherwise, every single order is being fetched as confirmed. So if we said that order has been fetched and we would like to divide the orders when it comes to the payment, this is something that we could do, okay? Because whenever the order comes in this case, on our test account, it will go directly to the status waiting for the payment, okay? So this is the first status. Oh, something went wrong, I guess. Let me refresh that quickly. Okay, let's go back here, and I'm just gonna wait for the other tab to actually load. So whenever the order is being fetched from the marketplace, it comes down as a paid for, or it may be cash on delivery, for example. And this is something we can divide using automatic actions, okay? So we can, for example, scroll down to the payment method, okay? Or to the payment status and use it, okay? Like, for example, if the order has been paid, you can move it to different status. If it's not been paid, you can also move it if you want to, but otherwise, what we usually do for our clients, we're gonna set the first status that's going to fetch all the orders for the from the marketplaces, and we will just call it waiting for the payment. So every order that has been not paid for will just stay in that particular status instead of moving it, because this is just some additional work that you don't really need when it comes to it. Okay, so what I would do, I would basically use this action instead. So the order has been paid for, and now we have the 100% validation that order, whenever has been paid for, so the system set it as a paid, would move to the particular statuses. And now we could call it as like orders to do, for example, and every single order would be moved whenever it has been paid for. But what you can also do, you can add some additional conditions that would divide the orders when it comes to the couriers. So if I'm going to change it for the Royal Mail status, so if I'm going to go back in here, you can see that orders to be fulfilled are divided into Royal Mail and a FedEx. Because, for example, some of the couriers, they come in quite early in the morning, and your job is to get those orders packed and ready for the courier whenever he comes in. And let's say that the FedEx courier comes in at 9 o'clock and the Royal Mail does at 4 o'clock in the evening. So what you would like to do, you would like to focus on the orders that are supposed to be sent through FedEx, so you can get them ready for the courier as soon as possible. So in this case, what you would like to do is set, for example, this kind of action that would switch the status of the courier, that would switch the status of the order for the particular courier. So if you would like to do that, you have to set additional condition that would be called, for example, FedEx. Whenever you start writing something, BaseLinker is going to give you some tips on how the shipping methods are called when it comes to certain marketplaces. Okay. it will basically say, like, for example, Courier FedEx for Allegro or FedEx Today for eBay. And this is absolutely fine to use it whenever you're actually counting on the orders coming in from the certain marketplace. But don't forget, the value in here is supposed to be matched exactly the same. So every single space will count, as well as the big letters will also count. And if you have your e-commerce store, like WooCommerce store, connected to the BaseLinker, you're in charge of how the shipping methods are called on the WooCommerce store, for example. Okay, so if the courier is called just FedEx and that's it, you have to write it down, and that's supposed to be exactly the same as you have it in your online store. So you will have to scroll down to the top of it. Whenever you write something, it will appear on the top and you have to actually click it. So it will be added to the list. And if I save it now, whenever the order has been paid for and the shipping method is called FedEx Today or FedEx, it will change the status for me for FedEx. Let's do another one. If you just seen it, you can also copy the automatic actions across, so you don't have to do everything from the scratch. If this is something like dividing the couriers, you can just copy the action, put the name of the courier, and again, it will appear on the top. You select it. Now we would like this to be changed to Royal Mail, and then hit on button save. Okay, so if we will go to our orders now, and then we can see that the order has not been paid for. It hasn't been set as paid. The shipping method is Royal Mail. And what I can do, you can see that this is in, like, let's say it's been in the status waiting for the payment. Okay, so if I'm gonna set the payment as paid, the automatic action has been performed, and you can see that the status of an order has changed now. It's been moved to the Royal Mail. This is something you could repeat, not just for dividing the orders before the whole workflow. You can also divide the orders when it comes to these ones which are actually being completed. So if you would like any insight on how much packages you actually have done within a month for the certain couriers, you can copy that action across, say, okay. And now what we would like to do, we would like to, for example, say that we're looking for the courier. Okay, just 1 second, let me find it. Okay, the courier parcel status has been changed. Okay, so this actually allows you to change the statuses of an orders based on the statuses that courier sends to BaseLinker. Okay, so you have different statuses that courier can set when it comes to your packages. And then if you would like to do it, for example, for the orders that you just sending at the moment, so we could do something like picked up by a courier, for example, and on the way, and we would like to change our status for shipped. Okay, what this is going to do, you're gonna create all your labels within the BaseLinker, and whenever the courier comes into your company and scan the barcode of a package, that will trigger that action, because the status of the package is being sent from the courier to BaseLinker, that the package is picked up by the courier or it's on the way, and it will basically automatically change the status of the order to shipped. So you actually know that all the orders that you've prepared today are being they've been collected by the courier, and you have some insights on what is happening to your order. Okay, and this apply to any other statuses when it comes to the courier. So for example, if you would like to know whenever the package is being delivered, let's do it. Okay, we're going to change the condition when it comes to the automatic action and set it as delivered, for example. And that's when the good stuff is happening. So you can automate the processes. But what you could do, like when you experience some trouble with the courier and they keep losing the packages or anything like that, you can go back in here and, for example, tick those statuses on courier. So whenever they lose a package or something has gone wrong, you can also prepare a status that could be, for example, called to verify. Okay, the new status that we created right at the beginning of our meeting could be called to verify, and whenever this situation will have a place, the status of an order will be changed to verify, and again you can save it, and that will automate pretty much most of the job that you have to do when it comes to changing the statuses of the orders, because there is so many ways and so many conditions that you could use. The most important thing to understand is, again, this is the trigger of an auction. You choose what's supposed to happen in order to perform certain automatic actions. So let's say you've processed an order, you've created a shipping label, and you would like to send an email to the customer automatically that is going to contain the invoice or receipt for your customer, because this is something you could also do. And my suggestion would be, again, using the statuses. So you could do something like status has been set. Okay, let's say it's been picked up by the courier, because this is something that we've done up here. Okay, so the courier's parcel status has been changed. The courier said he picked it up. The system is going to automatically change the status of an order to shipped. And now, whenever the shipped status has been set, we would like to perform a new action. Okay, so we would like to send an email to who? To client. You can also use it to send some automatic emails to distributors or anything like that. If you work with drop shipping system, you could choose particular products, and whenever the order contains a product, you can send an automatic email to your distributor, so they can prepare the products for you and send them directly to the customer, because you can also use the client's address and forward this to your distributor, or they can prepare the order for you. But for now, we would like to only send the email to the customer. So send an email, you're choosing which one is supposed to be sent. They can be created under email and SMS templates, if you can see on the left-hand side. So you have to create your templates. As soon as you have one, order has been shipped, you're going to choose from which email box that's supposed to be sent. As soon as you've done that, you can choose what type of message that's supposed to be. We will leave it with the message on the order page and the email with the content. You hit on a button save. So whenever the courier is going to pick up the order, the automatic action will be triggered, because the status will be set to ship, and the email will go directly to the customer. You could also do something like, for example, I'm just gonna cover a tiny bit of then automatic actions on the products, okay? Because I think this is really a cool feature, and then I will feel really bad if I'm not gonna tell you guys about this. Okay, so let's say that the product stock has decreased below the threshold. You've got some new employees in your company. You're not sure that they're going to manage everything. So I'm gonna set the default warehouse because this is the one you're supposed to be using. And you could also define the quantity in a storage. So for example, product stock has decreased below the threshold. Our additional condition is, for example, the quantity of 5. So if you're running out of stock and it's only 5 at the moment, what you can do, you can send yourself an email or an SMS message or a Slack message. So any of those options, it's really cool because that will never allow a situation when you run out of something. So you can basically notify yourself whenever your stock is going below the number that you're going to set as a condition for this particular action. We'll go back to our standard automatic actions that apply to the orders. And one thing that we need to cover today is automatically generated invoices and the receipts, because this is something you can also do within the BaseLinker, okay? And this is you who decide when that's supposed to happen. So let's go to our order list and describe the process. So we have the new order that comes into the BaseLinker. We're gonna set some automatic actions that will divide the orders if they has been paid for or if they cash on delivery. These ones would move automatically to Royal Mail and a FedEx because we've covered that. You already know how to move the statuses when it comes to the payment, and also additional condition when you define what shipping method is being used, and that would divide the orders between different couriers. Later on, let's say that you're gonna create the shipping label. So the warehouse, they have like 2 different stations, because you can also use something like condition that will use the profile of your employee. Okay, so we can set, for example, that whenever this person performed an action, like we just created a button, okay, right on the parcel, and this is going to create our, let's do it on this case. If I'm gonna add this profile in here, for example, one of your employees use this button, it will create a package, but you can add additional action that has to be performed, and we're gonna change the status to station 1. Okay, so whenever this person is going to use the button, we would like them to create the package, but also move it to station 1 when it comes to the warehouse. And again, I'm gonna just copy that action. I'm gonna choose different account for this, and then we would like to set the change of the status to station 2. In this way, you can actually organize the whole workflow, including the information on which person is processing the certain orders. So if we have the shipment being created and the package is ready for shipping, I would say this is the good place to actually issue our invoice, okay? Because the invoice is going to be sent on the shipped status because we already done it. So we would like to invoice to be issued whenever the orders reach that status ready for shipping. Okay, so you probably already know what you're supposed to do. We would like to create an automatic action status has been set. Okay, ready for shipping. What it's supposed to do is supposed to issue an invoice for us. Okay, then you're just gonna choose which VAT rate is supposed to apply, because you can do it within the automatic action, or you can just do it according to the number of series, which you can define under invoices section. In this case, it will always issue an invoice for the customer whenever it reaches the status ready for shipping. Okay, and then you can also define additional conditions. Again, if the VAT number was given, you can issue an invoice. Okay, it was given, then issue an invoice. If not, maybe you would like to create a receipt instead of the invoice. I hope that you can actually see how the automatic actions are working, because it's pretty similar process for every single one of them. And we don't have enough time to go through the whole list, but I'm just going to tell you which ones you should actually have covered, because they will be really useful for you. Let's say the order in status for certain number of days. This can be used for automatic cancellation of an orders that comes from the marketplaces and the customer hasn't paid for the certain time. Okay, so let's say the customer placed an order but he didn't make the payment yet, and after 5 days, for example, you can change the status of that particular order for canceled if you would like to. That's the first example. The second one, if you have the workflow created in a way when you know when the package has been delivered to your customers, you can use this automatic action to ask for an opinion. So for example, whenever the package has been whenever the order has been in the delivered status for the certain number of days, which you're going to set, for example, for 7, after 7 days, on the point where the customer collected the order, you can ask them for opinion. Shipment has been created. Again, really cool feature, because if you use it and then if you're gonna do something like the shipment has been created, any courier, what you can do, you can actually print a document, and you can print a US label that just has been created. So whenever you're gonna create the package, boom, the label is going to come out from the label printer straight away. Really cool feature. Whenever the invoice has been created, so if you don't want to, for example, wait for the courier to set the status of the package to on the way or picked up by the courier, and you would like to send the invoice straight away after it has been created, you can do something like that. An invoice has been issued. What we're supposed to do, we're supposed to choose which invoice, and then again, what's supposed to happen. So you can send an email to the customer that's going to contain the invoice. What else that you're supposed to watch? If you're working with any additional software that can, for example, send an PDF of an invoice through our API, because this is what's being used in a lot of integrations with ERP systems. Whenever you've got the custom integration, this can be also useful, because you can define that whenever the PDF of an invoice has been uploaded to the BaseLinker, it can be sent to the customer straight away. What would be really cool, pick and packing assistance. So whenever you use the pick and packing assistance, these actions are absolutely must. So you have to use them, and in order to actually automate your workflow, because there are two different stages on picking and packing assistant, as the name suggests. You can actually specify whenever the order is being reserved for collecting, and that would automatically change the status. So as we spoke about the stations for the warehouse, for example, you can use it. So whenever someone in a warehouse is going to collect the order, that automatic action will basically automatically change the status for station one, for example, because they just collected it. And whenever they collect it, we could do like a second status um, whenever they actually finish this. So whenever the um order has been collected, to station one collected, and that would be the sign for the second person in a warehouse who could start the packing process. And if they would start packing process, that automatic action would basically move it to the station two where the order is being packed. If they're gonna set it as packed, another automatic action that could basically issue an invoice automatically, for example, and send it to the customer. Like, there is a huge potential. You just have to decide which actions are gonna be perfect for your workflow, because this is something you have to adjust to. So think through your workflow and then have a look on the automatic actions. The most important thing you need to understand is that on the left hand side, you're choosing what's supposed to trigger that particular action. You can add conditions in different forms, and then you decide what's supposed to be performed. Within one automatic action, you can add tasks that's supposed to be performed. You're not limited by any numbers. Okay, because I can see that you guys have a lot of questions. So I think we're gonna move to the questions, because that way maybe I can help you slightly better than just talk through general configurations. So feel free to ask any questions from now on, and then we can cover it. Okay, so Ivar has asked the question if we have any pre-made actions. Okay, so we actually don't, because this is something you can adjust to your system. As an implementation specialist, we could give you some tips on which could be most useful in your case, but this is something you will have to cover yourself and adjust to your current process. Hi, Steven. So when it comes to the Royal Mail, you will have to actually go to the Royal Mail integration settings and change the format of a label if you would like this to be printed automatically. The PDF is most popular one. Hi, Alison. So if you already have some products listed on eBay, what you could do, you could turn on the import to the BaseLinker with an option where you're going to add these products to the BaseLinker inventory. In this way, you can use those products from the BaseLinker inventory, which are based on eBay, and use them for creating the listings on Etsy using our Etsy integration. Uh, yes, Alison. So if you go to our website and go to the knowledge section and just write down a listing process, that will take you through the listing process step by step. Do you have any additional questions on automatic actions? Is everything clear? Do you have any particular examples that you would like to automate? Maybe I can point you in the right direction. Just feel free to ask anything. Okay, so if you would like to import a bulk of pictures, the first thing that you're supposed to do is to define what mapping key that's supposed to be used to import those products. Okay, so if you have unique SKU assigned to the products in a base linker, you have to use that SKU when it comes to the CSV Excel sheet, and then assign the picture. So I'm guessing you're probably going to use the URL when it comes to the pictures, because if they stored on any kind of server, you will have to put down columns like image 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Yeah, that's fine. As soon as you can access those, so you have it on a Google Drive. As soon as you can actually access those pictures through the URL, then you can do sheet where you're gonna have columns in which 1, 2, 3 assign the pictures, and then um, assign the SKU to each of the rows when it comes to the pictures, so you can map them during the import. And that way, you're going to upload all the pictures to the BaseLinker inventory, but you have to have some kind of a mapping key. Yes, of course. So whenever the order comes down from the marketplace and you have all the products associated with the other marketplaces, depending on how often the stock synchronization is being set to, I will change the value of the stock on eBay. Yes, Steven. So if you go to the orders and not sorry to the products and go to the automatic actions, you can actually create an automatic action that whenever the stock is being below the threshold, and then you're gonna set the threshold, for example, to 5, you can perform an action that would basically send an email or add to the purchase order. So both can be resolved. You can send an email directly to someone that's going to send you the product, or add it to the purchase order. Hi, Yuris. If you could elaborate on that one, because I'm not right, pretty sure if I can understand it well. So, if the order from Amazon store that not have the product X, then reply automatically email suggestion to buy it. But then, um, if you don't have the product out there, then you wouldn't fetch any information to the base linker, and then you will not be able to trigger any action. Of course, Camille, so you could email us when it comes to the implementation. On this email, if you struggle with anything and you would like to get everything done as soon as possible, we can get a quote for you, and a bunch of specialists will actually take care of the whole setup for you. Oh, okay, Yuris, I understand it now. So yes, this is something that you could do. So for example, if you're gonna define the automatic action that it's going to recognize the order with the wall tiles, but it will not contain the glue, for example, you can move it to the other status, and then um, send an email to the customer with a suggestion of purchasing something like that. It might require quite a lot of actions and conditions, as well as different statuses, because the statuses is supposed to be, in this case, they're supposed to be dedicated to the certain group of products, because otherwise you won't be able to achieve this. But if you happy to have a little play with the statuses, creating the groups. Like for example, the one group could be this the wall tiles and a glue, and then the other one could be like the other group of two products that could go together. Uh, that way you can actually um, achieve that kind of results. Okay, Steven, so this is something you could achieve when it comes to uh, bundles. For example, you could do it through the bundles option. So if you go to the product list and switch to the bundles, you could basically create a bundle that's going to contain 12 of those, and whenever the stock will go below uh, of the bundle, like for example below one, then you will know that you have to order that particular product. So when it comes to the automatic actions about the products, in this case, you will have to use the SKU of the certain product, but that's supposed to be not a single product, but the bundle SKU. So you could do it that way. So if you need someone to help you with the setup and take you through, you could write a message through our ticket system, or let us know on that email I just provided above that, and then implementation specialist will reach out to you that will create an individual offer for you, and we can give you a whole implementation as well as take you through some training. If we'll have any news about new integrations and new features, they will be probably released on our website or on our blog. So you just need to keep calm and watch our social medias as well as visit our blog, because all the news and all the new releases will be posted there on daily basis. Okay, we have another 3 minutes. Come on, guys. Is there anything I can help you with? I'm pretty sure there'll be more webinars coming in English, so stay tuned. Okay, so our API documentation is actually available online. So this is something you could do, but that would require some additional work when it comes to adding the shipping number from the Magento store directly to the BaseLinker or to the marketplace. I think it will be way easier to actually add it to the BaseLinker and then use it as a bridge, because BaseLinker can add the shipping number to the marketplaces without any struggle. In this case, I would suggest to get familiar with our API documentation. Hi, Roy. Yes, it's possible. So you can do it through our printout and export modulation section. So you can actually subscribe an alternative invoice, for example, and then create a copy of it because before you do it, you will not be able to actually edit it. But whenever you create a copy of that particular printout, you can use some HTML language and adjust the invoice to look in exactly the way you want it. Thanks, Alison. So if you connect your eBay account to the BaseLinker and go to the offer management section in here, you can import those offers from your BaseLinker account with an option of creating the product in a storage. So all the offers will be transformed into single products in a product list inside of BaseLinker. So basically, yes, you can, but at the moment we don't have an existing integration with Odoo ERP system. So again, you could use the API documentation if you have an IT department that could do it for you, or you're pretty good when it comes to programming. This is something you could achieve through an API. Yes, so the video of this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So stay tuned and look for it. All right, I think we have to wrap up this meeting. So thanks a lot. Hopefully we can organize some more webinars in English so you guys would be preached by our team. Okay, we have some last questions. Okay, no, actually don't. All right, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. Wish you all the best. Bye.